Hey there guys, this is Andrew here, what is going on? And today I'm going to be telling you guys a story on how I got my first flat tire of my primary vehicle, the 2004 Ford Ranger XLT. This may not be the best video considering that this is taking place in the nighttime. I was meaning to do this during the day, but I kind of realized that the next 2 days are going to be pouring buckets of rain, even though that it's well past Thanksgiving and we're approaching to December. So yeah. Anyway, on to the story. So on Monday morning on November 26, 2018, I get inside the vehicle, and so I put my backpack in the front passenger seat and I get inside. And so as I start the vehicle up and back out, I noticed that there was a possible defect on the vehicle with no warning lights on the dash. But anyway, that's there. And so not knowing what the defect actually was that I was dragging on, whether it was some clinking metal or whatever, I kept going on it until for 5 minutes. Again, no warning lights on the dash, and so after 5 minutes of a possible defect that I was dragging on the vehicle, I pulled into a nearby or a parking lot nearby an office complex. I put on my four-way flashers, as you can see, and so I get out of the vehicle, come around to see what I was dragging, and until I realized it, I had my first flat tire. I know you guys can't see it too well, but if I get out my phone and so it's oh, I pressed the wrong button. So right there, as you can see, was where I had my first flat tire, the back right wheel. And so realizing that I drove on a flat tire for 5 minutes, which was the first mistake into what I was doing, I got back inside and called up my parents to let them know what was going on. Dad was getting ready to go to work, and my mother was helping William getting ready for college, and so I told them that I parked at a parking lot nearby an office complex, and so they pulled up a few minutes later. Now, the first mistake, or the second mistake I made, other than driving on a flat tire for 5 minutes, was that I left the engine running, which to me I don't think is a clever idea, especially when you're waiting for an emergency or a tow truck to pick you up. And so in the next few minutes after making a call, both my parents arrived to help me out. Dad took me to campus. Mom took care of the truck, or well, at least they all did, if I were to say so. And so what happened whenever Mom took the truck in? Well, I don't remember much other than making the same mistakes that I made on a flat tire, but Mom took it over, called a tow truck, and brought it over, I believe, to Precision Tune Auto Care. I know that's the place where this truck gets its oil change on a regular basis, and so the rim that had the flat tire was had to be changed out so it can be worked on. A temporary rim was put on there so that the mechanic could work on it. but I don't have any photos to what the temporary rim looked like, but I know that it was probably, well, I don't know what the temporary rim looked like, but yeah, all I know is that the rim was worked on, and so seeing how both rear tires were in such bad shape, both of the rear tires were changed out. It looks like I showed what the rear right tire was to where I had my first flat. Here's the other rear tire. It looks similar to the other back tire, as both these rear tires were changed 1 year ago, and for these front tires, I believe they were changed 2 to 3 years ago. I don't know exactly when. The camera will focus. Here's another shot. Leaves may not be the best, if I can try to sort them out. Probably what's not as easy as it looks. But here's another shot of one of the front tires as looking similar to the other front tire. And so I guess that's pretty much it for telling a story on how I got my first flat tire. Went over to classes on Monday morning, realized I had a flat tire after 5 minutes, parked the truck in the nearby parking lot, called my parents, and once they arrived, they turned off the vehicle, and Mom took it in for a tire change. And so here's the lesson to take on if you have a flat tire. So when you have a flat tire, do not make the same mistakes I made whenever you drag it on when you drive it flat for 5 minutes or leave the engine running. If you have a flat tire, do not make the same mistakes I made. Immediately get off the roadway, turn on your four-way flashers if necessary, turn off the engine, and call for a tow truck and wait for help to arrive. Well, I guess that's pretty much it for the story that I have to say for my first flat tire for my primary vehicle. I know that this time setting was not the best, but I know that it's going to be raining pretty hard for the next 2 days, which if I were to tell the story then it would probably make it worse, if I were to say so. But I guess that's it, so thanks for watching.